bombing the trains back in the days, we were basically transmuting the energy. When we was doing the graffiti on the trains, we were transmuting the energy that the railroad tracks was giving into the ley lines of the earth. We were transmuting it by putting different colors or ayahuasca energy on the outer surface of it. So what the cracker got to do, and what lines did we do it on? We did it on the 2, the 5, and the old school 6s. Right? So that's 2 and 5 is 7. 7 and 6 is what? Anybody? My math is 13, right? Then what the cracker do? And I'll never forget, because I was one of the bombers back in the day. And I'll never forget, I started 9th grade, and that's when they switched up all the training lines and they came up with the new stainless steel train. And you couldn't do the thing on it no more. But then what happened? Brothers started bombing the freight trains. And then the message is that the brother was going further than. So this Praetor extraterrestrial intelligence is the black energy that's coming here to get rid of the cracker, and anybody that likes crackers, and anybody that wants to subsist in the crackers world is going. Yeah. This is the energy that they don't want you to deal with. It's also, you can channel this energy with the use of a black obelisk. Get you a black obelisk or a black onyx stone. Excellent. Here we go. The Ayahuasca entity is represented by a black obelisk that is made of pure obsidian. As the source of this magic, the entity is said to control the world, or the world that most humans live in. The power is consolidated in the United States, which is the new Atlantis, but part of the old one too. George Washington was key in the initial struggle for the power of the United States of America and the U.S. It is known that Washington was schooled by the indigenous tribes and native Moors and was part indigenous himself. The Moorish shepherds always recognized Washington as having Moorish blood based on who he grew up under. You know what I'm saying? But this is also to say that, well, I get to finish this. There are not too many Caucasians. Think about this. Of all the people you met in your life named Washington, when was the last time you met a white person with the last name Washington? Do you know one? I know Kerry Washington. I know Isaiah Washington. I know the other Isaiah Washington with basketball. I know Denzel Washington. I know Dinah Washington. All these black people. So where the white Washingtons at? Think about it. Washington. Most people with the name Washington are black because the Washington derives from the old Moorish Empire aspect. Also, the Camerons were the people that were written about in Shakespeare in the story of Macbeth. Macbeth was a Cameron, you know what I'm saying? Or a Duncan as well. People of Earth with celestial ties and upper realms recognized as the oldest indigenous people of planet Earth. Places with the name Wichita are also named after them. Besides the above, there is also an interesting etymological aspect to the name that sheds light on it. According to common history, Washington's family came from a locality. We'll get into that. Actually, we go to the next one. This was the symbol that Crowley used to describe ayahuasca. Now, if you just take the Kempra and the solar disc out, that would look like the Baphomet signal, right? This, as you can see under here, you got the Kemet. This is a symbol in Kemet hieroglyphs. And then this one is also conveying energy, a symbol of water. So, when the crackers, started getting deep into their fake occultism shit, their blood rituals and all of that, they used the Baphomet signal, right? The image of Baphomet that looks like this was done by Anton LaVey way later. Also, the image that you see of Baphomet as a goat, like that was done by Eliphas Levi. He drew that, you know what I'm saying, as a representation of the so-called Baphometian energy that they was trying to channel. So, remember, the ayahuasca energy is a black, dark matter, dark energy. So that has nothing to do with crackers. So what Crowley was really doing with this type of thing, he used the symbol of Kepra, the symbol of resurrection, and put it on the black and the gold. This is the same black and gold that you see on those images in Kemet, where they have the person in front of the tomb, he's black with the gold thing on him, because the black and gold represents your melanin. You know what I'm saying? So what they were basically doing was trying to appease the ayahuasca energy by dressing up in the cloaks of darkness and doing blood rituals So that way when the entities would look down, they would think he wanted to flip it to make it think that we was giving them the right to do these rituals in our name to contact them on our behalf. See, this is what I mean about Jews. They always playing the middleman with you. They always trying to step in between you and your inheritance. They always playing the Yaakov to your Esau. You know what I'm saying? They always after your birthright. Because the minute your vibration slows or speeds up enough to get past them, they're extinct. You understand? So, again, this is the energy in which he basically did that. So they were basically trying to appease it and make it the same way they're doing with the earth. By getting black people to go along with the agenda of white supremacy, they're trying to convince the planet Earth that we are giving the Caucasian the right to do that. You understand? And the Earth then was then put to sleep through the railroads and all that shit that went over the ley lines, and then they would do their blood sacrifice rituals to further confuse the Earth. You know, but now the Earth is starting to raise up. And the Earth is starting to rebel. And the animals are starting to run up in 7-Eleven and shit and running the white folks out. All this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got ants eating the space station. That means that ants don't need oxygen. You understand what I'm saying? And what color are ants? Exactly. So, we can go to the next one. Crowley went to great pains to argue that Aiwass was an objectively separate being from himself, possessing far more knowledge than he and any other human could possibly have. As Crowley writes in his Confessions, I was bound, meaning slave. Let me show you the white man bound in the beginning. Bound to admit that the Aiwass had shown a knowledge of the Kabbalah immeasurably superior to my own. And we are forced to conclude that the author of the Book of Laws and intelligence both alien and superior to myself, yet acquainted with the innermost secrets, and important most of all that this intelligence is discardinate, meaning that Aiwassian energy don't want nobody that don't want it. If you want to be out here, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, and you want to become a Scientologist, you know what I'm saying? Knowing damn well that L. Ron Hubbard was a science fiction writer who was a lover of Aleister Crowley, and they both participated in the Philadelphia experiment on August 12, 1945, which destroyed and fucked up the time continuum, which is why they can't have any redemption. They screwed it up for themselves. Another thing, anybody that's into conspiracy stuff and all of that, when you hear people tapes and see tapes by this guy named Al Bielek, Al Bielek is really Duncan Cameron. Duncan Cameron, again, is that name again. Duncan Cameron was Caucasian who was the head of the Philadelphia experiment, the Phoenix Project, that was raping little boys and girls in the pink room in Montauk. And he was the guy who was on the ship that the Philadelphia experiment was a part of. He is the same person that's out here now talking about the New World Order and Bill Peter Moon and these bastards out in Montauk and shit, trying to redeem his shit. But there is no redemption for them. The existence of true religion presupposes that some of this commit intelligence, whether we call him God or anything else. And this is exactly what no religion has ever proved scientifically. Meaning that the Book of Law is what proves that God exists. But of course, it would come through a fucking devil. Aleister Crowley, Agent 666, member of British intelligence, who was set forth and unleashed as a great beast into all of the so-called clandestine, occult, Masonic, Freemasonic, Satanic temples to disassociate themselves from the so-called Prince Lodge, original Moorish shit, and inject the Satanism, ritualistic sacrifice in there, and the fisting, anal fisting that they deal with and all of that in there, for them to create the false version of what we see Freemasonry is today. They fear this because this is directly related to us. So what they had to do is find a way to piggyback into that. Another lover of Aleister Crowley was a guy who went by the name of Agent 007, aka Ian Fleming. The guy who wrote that, who died in Jamaica, writing the last James Bond novels and all that. He was a British agent too.